Last week, we looked at the rhetorical situation briefly. Now we're going to look at the situation a little more in depth. I'm going to be using the publication The Atlantic as an example to figure out the audience, purpose, and context. The audience for an article is the people the author had in mind as a target audience when writing the piece. The audience is never everyone, Facebook users, or Americans, as these categories are far too broad. Figuring out the audience for a text can require some research. For an article from a specific place like The Atlantic, the first aspect that limits the audience in some way is readers of this publication. Thus, the first layer of the audience is readers of The Atlantic. Based on my knowledge of this publication, I would say their readership is generally educated and interested in literature, politics, culture, and foreign affairs. The ads imply a well-off readership as well, since Rolex as well as fancy clothing and car brands are advertised. Of course, when looking at the website of publication these days, the ads are usually targeted to you personally, so looking at the ads might not be the most fruitful approach. The magazine also aims to be politically moderate, but has a left of center lean. The way something is written also works at narrowing the audience. Targeted at this readership, the diction, sentence structure, and subject matter also reflect this. Essentially, the target audience is a subset of the readership of the publication based on the contents of a specific article. Therefore, look first to the readership of the publication and then narrow from there based on the topic and execution of the article. For Comp 1, it was okay to just mention readers of the particular publication as the first layer of the audience. For Comp 2, I want to see some explanation of who those readers of the publication actually are. Therefore, for the Atlantic example, to sum up the audience for an article on organic farming, it could then be described as something like this. Readers of the Atlantic are generally well off, educated, culturally, socially, and politically curious, center to left of center. Based on the article itself, the audience could be further narrowed down to those Atlantic readers interested in organic farming who have already some knowledge of the topic based on the advanced vocabulary and concepts mentioned without explanation. For example, anthropophagy and biodynamic agriculture. Finally, imagine articles on this same topic, organic farming, in the following publications. Ranger Rick, which is a magazine for children, CNN.com, which is a general audience news site, National Geographic, a general audience publication but more focused, and the Journal of Advanced Organic Chemistry, which is a specialized peer-reviewed publication. All of these publications could publish articles on the same topic, but the focus would have to be very different because the audiences are so very different. Skimming a publication's Wikipedia page can often tell you a lot about many factors on the broader audience of a publication. Many publications also have an About Us section, often found at the bottom of a web page, that can help you in your detective work when looking for a broader audience of the publication. For some publications, looking at their Facebook page or other social media presence may also help you figuring out who the audience could be. Is the purpose of this article to inform, persuade, argue, compare, contrast, entertain, or is it something else? Going back to our organic farming example, the purpose here is to inform readers about the challenges of organic farming, but also in some ways to argue for the benefits of organic good, or organic foods, I should say. Then we look at context. The first level of context and where you should start is what type of writing this is. Is it an online magazine article, a short story, a newspaper article, a scholarly book, a poem, a blog entry, a Facebook post, a tweet, a grocery list, a TED Talk, a Twitch stream, a YouTube video, etc.? The context can also be the context of the publication, but also the current societal debate on the given issue. A recent article on something like taxes will be influential by the current political climate. With the organic foods article, the context is the current rise of that type of farming, as we see more and more organic foods in places like Walmart alongside more traditional outlets like Whole Foods. That being said, the type of text is where you should start when discussing context of something. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed this brief presentation. Under 5 minutes, guys.